Wingy Boxing, IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Well, I've got another one to tick off the list. Finally got hold of him. Paul Smith, how you feeling, man?
Not bad, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad. How are those Twitter trolls?
I haven't been on it for ages.
Ain't you?
No.
I used to enjoy it, man. I used to enjoy
Come off it. You know what they're like. They've always said it's the same. You know, come to places like this and fight and out, and all of it is well wishes, and it's the same back from me. You know, it's never any of them on Twitter. They don't even go to boxing shows. That's what they like. But no, I'm just happy with the break. You know, not them, just social media in general. I come off it just before Christmas, and just retiring, just getting used to everything and getting used to not.
You have retired, because I asked your brother Callum, and he said he kind of didn't say it. This was about a couple of months ago. So you have
yeah, I'm done. No, I'm definitely done. I'm too old. I felt every bit of my age in our last fight. You know, I think I could probably still come back now at domestic level, but what's the point? You know, I've always said if I couldn't win a world title, then I don't want to be outstaying my welcome in the game, because it's the wrong sport to outstay your welcome. You know, you can get hit, and we've seen it happen before. But yeah, just enjoying a bit of retirement, enjoying a bit of family time, and I've just read, you know, been reading up a few things. I read a little bit of things online, and read up a few things about social media and people spending too much time on. And I've seen a few things with my own eyes. You know, I love spending time with my kids and with my family, and I've been out too many times and seen parents just neglecting kids for phones, and they're just taking over everything. I had a good little break. I've been still on Instagram, but as anyone knows, I'm bored on that. I'm just always with my little daughter before and after nursery, and pick my lads up from school, the same thing, you know, and in the house with my missus and kids. So I don't really do much apart from family time now, and I've really enjoyed it.
I can relate to that. I got basically a Twitter troll went to my family, so I just went to the family, not even at me. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just shut it all off. And I know there's a great app. I'll show you it. It's called The Tree. And the longer you stay off social media, the tree grows. Because I'm quite addicted to the social media. But anyway,
it's good though. It's good when you need it for work. It's good.
Yeah.
I used to always have to be on it for boxing and to keep active and to sell tickets and to promote yourself and the people around you in the gym and what have you. But I don't have to do it now, so I'm actually enjoying not having to go on and thank people for things, and you know, having sponsors is great. It was great having them, and they helped me through my career. I couldn't have ever got anywhere near and what I won in boxing without sponsors, or any levels that I got in boxing without sponsors. But you know, you have to reciprocate for them and do your obligations and help out the sponsors in return for them helping you out financially. But I'm sort of glad I don't have to do any of that now and post some things like that I didn't really want to post. And that's the thing with some fighters nowadays, they're more obsessed with being big on social media and more obsessed with how many followers they got than actually win a fight, and it baffles me. I just think, you know, some of the fighters out there, they haven't done a tap, they haven't done a thing in boxing, they haven't won a title yet, but they're on there like they've won all kinds and talking a big fight because they got a few hundred followers, a few 100,000 followers, should I say. And it's just it's the wrong attitude to have in the game. And
is that fighting talk? Are we going to have a return in?
No, definitely not. No, I'm not even mentioning anyone in particular. I've seen
I'm only joking.
I've seen a good few of them, you know, from low down in Britain to right up over in the States. And there's some fighters out there and you think, I've never heard of him, I've never seen him in an actual fight, but he's got 1 million followers or something like that. And they just, I think either if they don't make it, they're in for a rude awakening, because it's an unforgiving sport, as many will know.
What are your reflections? Your last fight, the Zoiga fight. What's your reflections on that fight? Sort of it, like at this point right now. When I say that fight to you, what goes through your mind?
Just a little bit of regret with the Zoiga fight. I think I was done, and I noticed once the first bell went and I went through. You know, I was in the ring with Andre Ward, and after 30 seconds I knew how good he was. As soon as he did the first jab, I thought, wow, you know, I knew straight away I was in with someone top level, and the way he was trying to manoeuvre me into positions and everything else, and I knew early on in the Zoiga fight that I'd beaten relatively easy in my opinion.
That's what I was going to say. Without being disrespectful to him.
No, my age kicked in, and it wasn't like, you know, he lost his title a couple of fights later, and I was watching the fighting, and that went the kid I fought. You know, it was like he was going shit or bust basically against Field in the field and fighting that. Someone mentioned something like about getting a bit of stick. I was getting a bit of stick over something with the Field fight. Field's done great, done brilliant in that fight. My query about the fight was what was up with him, because there was something up with him. That's all I said at the fight, and that got translated to me being bitter and sour grapes and all that. But with me, with the Zoiga fight, it was just, I felt my age, and I could see the shots, and I was trying to hold them, and I get caught with a jab, and I think it just dawned on me in that fight it wasn't there for me, and it wasn't there anymore to what it was. So I've always said if that happened with me, I'll be out the sport, because it's the wrong time, it's the wrong sport, sorry, to overstay your welcome. And we see the bad cases, and we see people, and I watch people, and I watch a couple who are on telly, and I think you've had that one fight too many. And it's always the case, it's the one fight too many, and it's just one. And I didn't want to be that fella, you know. I've got a long life to live, and I've got a long life of hopefully happiness with my kids and my missus and my family around me, and I've got a good family, and I'm going to make the most of that.
James DeGale retiring. What are your thoughts on the fight with you? I know it was a couple of weeks ago, but what's your thoughts on that fight and his retirement?
I said before the fight, you know, it's DeGale to lose, in my opinion. DeGale's the better fighter of the two. Age, the long career, the lifestyle, everything else. That I'm having a go at James for that. You know, he's earned a lot of money. He's been very successful in the sport, and you're gonna have that life when you are successful in the sport. It happens. He was the better fighter of the two for me, but it was his fight to lose, and I thought Eubank just outworked him. I've been in the ring with both. I've sparred a fair few rounds with Eubank. DeGale, for me, was the better fighter, but he couldn't let Eubank get close, and he did, and Eubank ended up out countering him and beating him, and it looked like DeGale was the one rushing to try and get in, the one who was eager to get the fight over with, and he was a bit too eager to try and land just single shots, and Eubank looked very comfortable. To his credit, he boxed very well in that fight. Great career, Olympic gold medalist, world champion, broke a record in doing so, and plenty out the sport, and will now live a good life. He's got a good family around him as well. He's always been looked after by his mum, his dad, his family, his close members of his family, and he's a credit to the sport in this country, in my opinion. Describe
to me the feelings, the elation that went through your body when your brother got that knockout against George Groves.
It was great. It was just an accumulation of years, you know, of Callum's hard work all coming to fruition, and it wasn't the fact that it was George Groves, it was just the fact that he's just won a world title, he's become world champion, the #1 in the division, and we've got a Ring magazine belt in our house. You know, that still baffles me to this day. We've all grown up watching Rocky and watching all the Balboa films and seeing the old belt, and it's the Ring magazine belt. It's a little variation of it, but we've got one now, and Callum winning that title was it felt like all four of us won it. As we said when Liam won his, and if me or Stephen had won one, it would have been the same thing. You know, we're a very close-knit family. Nothing is an act, nothing is a gimmick. We are what we are. You know, we're with each other every day. We speak to each other every day. Do each other's head in every day, most of the time. But we win together, we lose together, and that was a big win to have together.
Now I know he's got Jacob's problems or issues, but Canelo was sniffing around Callum Smith, wasn't he? Mentioning the name. I've heard him mention the name a few times. Your brother. How do you think that fight would play out? I mean, let's take away the fact he's your brother. I know you can analyse, you're an analyst as well. How would that, if not the winner, stylistically, if Canelo was to go up and fight your brother?
I'd love to see it. I'm obviously going to side with Callum.
Of course, yeah.
The size of Callum, I don't think Canelo. I'm not saying Canelo's avoiding Callum Smith by
a bit of jab, do you think?
By any way. So before anyone tries to twist it, I'm certainly not saying it, but he could have stayed the super middle and called Callum out next, and Callum would have fought him next. It's not that. I know he's got other plans. I know he's gone down for Jacobs. I know money talks. I know everything else. But for me, the Fielding fight, no disrespect for Fielding, was just a feeling out process for the super middle. Get another belt at another weight, just to be able to say you've won a title at that weight, and then right back down to middleweight to compete where the money's at and where he is at, and his own. I don't even know if it's his natural weight. I'm not too sure. He's a natural middleweight, yeah. You know, I still think he'll probably do 154 at a push, but for me, he won't really stay up at the super middleweight. I couldn't see Canelo fighting someone like Ramirez or Callum. Benavidez possibly, you know, but not Callum or Ramirez. I think they're just too big and too good.
How does Jacobs Canelo play out, like stylistically?
I can see Canelo again. I think he's too good all round. You know, Jacobs his nickname is perfect for him. He's a miracle story, and it's a pleasure to see him actually in there fighting the way he does. You know, I love his style, I love his attitude, but I love Canelo as well. And I love his attitude and his style, and I love the way he's just sort of shrugged everything off Canelo. You know, people have doubted him, especially in the Golovkin fights. And the first Golovkin fight, I had it very, very close. I did genuinely have it, more or less a draw. I think a lot of people overlooked the good work Canelo did in favour of just the work rate and the come forward and aggressiveness of Golovkin, which he's got, and Golovkin's brilliant at what he does. But I felt he showed his age a little bit in those two fights, and Canelo was the younger, fresher fighter, even though he's had a long career, being a pro since he was 15. But for me, Canelo was absolutely quality in them fights. I think a lot of the good stuff what Canelo did got overlooked for Triple G. I think he's just on the crest of a wave at the moment, and we'll take that momentum through Jacobs. I think the deal he's signed with DAZN, it's an 11-fight deal, and as I mentioned with Field, it was his bedding in fight and his little first fight of an 11-fight deal. He's not going to take too many big serious risks early on, and I think the Jacobs fight will be one that he'll come through, and it's an exciting time for Canelo. You know, he's bringing a lot of publicity to the sport, and he's put the highest earners in sport right back up there for boxing, being one of those now with that big $300 million deal from DAZN.
So your brother's got his fight coming up not too long now. Do you feel that your bro Liam Smith could possibly be looking past Eggington? Because it's like, does he feel Eggington's faded? And if there's so much in the distance, you've got the Kell Brook fight, you've got the big title fights, he wants Munguia again. Is there, I mean, you know him better than anybody, is there a chance that could be in his head?
For me, no. I'm in the gym with him now every day. I'm going up and being around him, and I'm not fighting obviously, but just being around him and knowing his attitude and knowing what he's like every day, and I hear exactly what he's saying. And Kell Brook's name hasn't been mentioned once in the gym, and no future fights have. You know, he's fighting Sam Eggington,
right, okay.
And the plan is for Sam Eggington. The sparring partners are all tailored to Sam Eggington. He's sparring very well in the gym at the moment, Liam. He's been in the ring and sparred Sam Eggington before, you know, a fair few times, and Eddie kept banging on about how good the spars were and all that. And for me, you know, there's no disrespect to that, he wasn't necessarily good. It was Liam looking very good against Sam Eggington because the styles gelled, and it gelled in Liam's favour. But he's got to get it right on the night, as he's saying. He's got to get everything spot on with his preparation the final couple of weeks, get the game plan spot on, which him and Joe have done. And I think, you know, no disrespect to Eggington, he's tailor-made for Liam to look good against. It's certainly not going to be a boring fight with loads of clinching, and I'll be surprised if the referee has much to do on the night. And it's all about Liam looking good against Eggington for us and for our camp and for us as a family. Liam looking good, trying to grind down Eggington and see when he can put it all to the action for himself. You know, this is his first fight of a new deal with Matchroom, and it's a refreshing deal for him. You know, he's now back on Sky Sports. He hasn't been on Sky for a long time. His viewing figures will be big on Sky Sports, and it's an exciting time for Matchroom with the DAZN deal, with the Matchroom USA and Italy and everywhere else that they're expanding to. You know, they're a great company to work with and work for. So he's excited, Liam, but he has to get past Sam Eggington, and all the eggs in one basket with Sam Eggington.
Well, Paul, thank you for the fights. They might not have always gone your way, but the build-ups, the excitement, and when you were in there, they were always exciting. No matter what haters will say, we were always at the edge of our seats, and those nights were, you know, they'll stick with us, man. So
it was a pleasure. I've loved boxing since I was young enough to remember. I always grew up, you know, everything in school was I never wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor or a teacher or anything else. I was always wanted to be a boxer. And my mum used to be on my case all the time. I needed something to fall back on. You know, in the end, I never had nothing to fall back on because I put every egg into the one basket in boxing. And you know, how lucky am I? I've managed to live my dream and be a professional athlete all my life, and now I'm retired and enjoying my family.
Are you're a full-time analyst now, aren't you, with Sky? Is that still?
I'm doing bits with Sky, and I've got something going on in the background in boxing, but obviously not competing. I'm going to be managing a few fighters, and we'll be launching something real.
Is that an exclusive?
It might be.
Hey, there we go. Paul Smith, thanks for speaking to Wingy Boxing IFL TV, and we'll catch up soon. Thank you, brother.
Cheers.